financial problems, elder law, tax problems, business matters, divorce, personal injury, bankruptcy, your life, your reality. Life is complicated. There is the law and there is reality. Welcome to Law and Reality, sponsored by THAV GROSS. Now here's your host, Ken Gross.
Welcome to this segment of Law and Reality. Today's topic, school's coming. Teach me what to do about student loan debt and credit card debt. Jenny Lingl, nice to see you.
Hi, Ken. Good to be here.
Pat Samasco.
Thank you. I had that question at a seminar yesterday. How to pay for the debt?
Not an easy
It's topical.
Easy question, difficult answer. Brian?
I am here, and I'm going to give you lots of learning today.
Oh,
There
right.
we go. We're forewarned. I want to do it in the context of a case study. Here's our family, the Justin family. George and Jane Justin.
Here's George Justin.
You
Daughter,
really, you
Julie.
worked hard for this one, didn't you?
Son Elroy.
Wait,
and
is the dog Astro? Okay.
Yes.
You just dated yourself.
It was a great show.
It was.
I liked when Judy grabbed all the money. Wasn't she the last one out of
Yes.
the little thing?
I can still remember being 10 years old
No,
and
you
they were
can't.
talking on the phone, the video phone, saying that could never
Not in a
happen.
million years.
Never happen.
No.
Elroy's in his third year at MSU.
He grew up.
Judy's a freshman at WS at Wayne State. George is a foreman for construction. George had a friend named Fred who got him the job as the foreman for construction. George is earning $75,000 a year. Jane's a registered nurse. She's earning $55,000 a year.
They're making pretty good money.
They're making pretty good money. They want a better life for Elroy and Julie, and they feel as though it's their responsibility to pay for their college education.
Can I just make a comment on there? I heard a really interesting fact the other day. For every 25 people leaving the construction industry, only 5 people are replacing them. So all the kids that are going to college, a lot of those kids aren't going into the construction industry, and there's not going to be any employees.
Oh,
for
my-
that. It
my-
is going
I
to
have
Costs
a
more
friend
to
of
go
mine-
buy a
it's going to
home
be a
than-
nightmare.
I have a friend of mine who's vice president of a company and they do commercial heating and cooling.
Can't find anyone.
Cannot find qualified HVAC
Not in a
people,
million
and these
years.
people are making $50, $60 an hour.
And that's the funny thing about the Trump thing. If we're not having new people coming into the United States that are going to work in those wonderful
Who's gonna
industries,
do-
who's going to do the
their
work,
work?
it's going to be a catastrophe.
Interesting issues. All right, back to the Justins. Okay, so George and Judy are upset because they can't come up, or George and Jane, Judy's the daughter, they're short on cash for the education. They didn't save enough, but they feel as though it was their responsibility to pay for their kids' education. And here's the result of that. They now have $85,000 of credit card debt. Their monthly payments are $2,125 a month. They have guaranteed student loans for the kids in the amount of $75,000. They're actually co-signers on these loans. Those loans have a 10-year amortization that's costing them $831 a month. So between the credit cards and the student loans, they're now paying nearly $3,000 a month to maintain the loans that are out there, and the kids still have a lot of college left to do. Here's their budget. We'll put it up on the screen. Their net take-home pay is $8,125 a month. They got a mortgage payment of $2,500, a nice house, $1,000 in 3 car payments, car insurance $600, fuel, utilities, cell phones, life insurance, disability, food, miscellaneous. With the credit cards and with the student loan payment, their outgoing is $10,781. They're $2,656 short per month, and they're pulling their hair out because tuition bills are coming due for the kids. They are tapped out on the credit cards. How are they, and they're here and they're saying to Brian, How are
Help.
we going to pay for Elroy and Julie's remaining college? This is a reality show.
This is reality. This is a situation I see absolutely every day. So the first thing we're going to do is figure out how to eliminate what we can eliminate. Okay? So we're going to look at they're both for
We're going to eliminate the elimination items.
the
Okay, go ahead.
eliminatable items.
There you go.
Yeah, I'm not sure if that's English
That's
either.
why we
but-
call you the
So Brian,
eliminator.
what are you saying? They don't need to eat. Let's just get rid of
No.
that.
Exactly right. We're going to stop eating. We're going to stop paying
Maybe
the electric.
stop going to
paying the-
Starbucks.
No.
Bear
Here's
in
what
mind, I'm George.
Here's what-
I'm here to see you because I want you to tell me how to pay for the kids' education. I don't care about the debt.
So the first thing we look at is we look at the income minus the expenses, okay? And when I look at income minus expenses, I'm not concerned about the debt. I want to see what's there, income minus the expenses that it takes to keep a roof over their head, to pay the electric bill, the gas bill, the water bill, and put groceries on the table.
And to pay for the college education, right?
At this point, I just want to see what it takes to do what I just said.
Okay.
All right? So with the net take-home pay of $8,125 and total expenses as you described it, putting them $2,656 behind, they really only have about $300 left over to pay towards student loans and credit card debt. That's all that's in their budget if all the other expenses have to stay the same.
So you need to get me some more credit cards.
No, there's no more credit cards. We're going to first look to see if George and Judy could qualify for a Chapter 7 bankruptcy. If they could qualify for a Chapter 7 bankruptcy in this situation, I can eliminate all of the credit card debt through that, leaving them with a student loan payment. Why? Because student loans are not dischargeable generally in bankruptcy. And these are private student loans on top of it, which there's two theories on student loans, on private student loans, how to deal with them. Number one, you pay them. Number two, you die. That's it. They don't go away. Single worst student loan you could ever take out.
Private student loan.
Private student loans. Government student loans are an absolute benefit in this situation.
There were government student loans available, but the private ones were so much easier.
Yeah, they had those really sexy ads, right?
I did it online and I got the money.
Right. Easy
You're saying that was
isn't
a mistake?
necessarily a good idea.
We're going to take a break. When we come back, we're going to figure out how to solve this problem.
If you're retired and in a financial crisis, there is a way out.
It pains me when I see a retired couple exhaust their savings by paying credit card bills and for a home hopelessly underwater.
THAV GROSS specializes in helping retired people in financial crisis.
You just can't keep paying until you're broke. You need to address the problem now.
888-235-HELP. That's 888-235-HELP.
We're THAV GROSS. Our firm will solve your problem.
Tax problems are major problems. Don't let the IRS levy your wages and seize your assets. There is a solution.
We're THAV GROSS. Our firm will solve your problem.
If you're behind on your taxes and owe money to the IRS, call THAV GROSS.
We've been solving tax problems for 32 years. We stop wage levies, resolve unfiled returns, and obtain the best possible settlements.
Call THAV GROSS today, 888-235-HELP.
Will I outlive my money?
Medicaid is so confusing.
A will, or do I need a trust?
What if mom needs to go in a nursing home?
At Samasco Law, we have the answers to all of these questions. Our attorneys will eliminate the confusion and develop a plan that's right for you. We are dedicated to veterans benefits, assisted living, and nursing home care. Samasco Law can help prepare you for a long future. Call Samasco Law today.
You can't work. You have to deal with pain and stress. Worse yet, our system for applying for disability benefits seeks to deny you the benefits you're entitled. Jeff Kirshner is an expert in obtaining disability and workers' compensation benefits for his clients. You need to call Jeff before you apply or after you're denied to get the benefits you deserve. 888-235-HELP. 888-235-HELP. Is the debt piling up? Struggling to get by?
It's all about preserving future income. Bankruptcy is one option. When it's right, It's the least costly, most effective way to save your home, eliminate a second mortgage, and wipe out credit card debt. But you need to address the problem now.
We help people with bankruptcy. Call the experts.
We're THAV GROSS. Our firm will solve your problem.
888-235-HELP. That's 888-235-HELP.
All right, back to George and Jane. So you're looking at this budget. What do they do?
Can I ask a real quick question? I'm sorry, just if I have a federal student loan and I have a private student, can I convert a private student loan to a federal? Like,
Okay.
you know how you consolidate that?
There are some consolidation programs that exist out there, and it all depends on the type of loan. There are so many different types of student loans. You've got Parent Plus loans. You've got just the Stafford loans. You've got non-Stafford loans, and they don't always mix together. And the best resource to determine whether or not they can be consolidated together is actually contacting the lenders themselves, because literally every program is different. And
See, one of the realities is the federal loans are far better, but the amount that you can borrow per year is capped and limited, and it doesn't approach the cost of tuition and housing.
Gotcha.
If you're going to school at like a 4-year university and you're living away from home, you can't borrow enough on federal loans to cover that cost.
The beer and
The beer is going up.
The funny thing is that
and pizza
is that student loans for grad school are much more available than they are
So
for
Brian,
undergrad.
that was my question. Is the issue for George and Jane here that Judy and Elroy can't get their own student loans, so they're looking to mom and dad to co-sign?
Yes, part of it is that they can't get enough student loans, but that doesn't mean that there isn't money available. See, the problem with today is that we all think that student loans or mom and dad paying for school is really the solution. Reality check. School isn't the same as it was 30 years ago. Tuition was $3,000, $4,000 a year to go to school at that point. Now, a year at Michigan State University, tuition, room, and board is about $24,000 a year. But here's the interesting thing. Go back 30 years, wages didn't go up by the same percentage as the cost of tuition.
You want to know something? I'm thinking back to my college days at law school, because you're right. It was so much less.
You can think that far back?
It costs so much less to go than it does now. But it wasn't even easy then. I remember sitting in the second semester of first year law school, and the contracts professor says, "Mr. Gross, please see me after class." I saunter up, and the professor's name was Miss Finlatter, and I said, what is it? She says, "You know, I know you're a nice guy, but I got a note here that says if you don't square up with the registrar's office by the end of the week, you can't sit in class."
Wow.
Because it was like, and I was like, panicked, because I had to come up with probably $800 for tuition payment.
Right.
Imagine what kids face now.
What did you do?
I scrambled and got the money from my father, who was helping me out with school.
George.
But I was living at home.
Yeah.
I wasn't working while I was in law school because I was studying.
But that's it.
And
Living
I
at
was borrowing on student loans, but you'd borrow $2,500 a year.
Yeah.
Opportunity and options to go to school don't necessarily have to mix with the traditional 4-year model where you go away to school for 4 years and you come home during the summers and you live in the dorms or you have an apartment. Opportunity to go to school includes going to community colleges.
Oh, my friends are all going away, Dad.
Yeah.
My friends are all going.
And your friends
can all,
and their parents can afford it.
Dad.
Let me see if I can help you there.
Dad. Oh, thank you. No, but Dad.
There you go.
Well, I think that the important
I hate you.
The important thing to say there is work really hard 2 years at your community college, and then I'll be
Absolutely,
happy
that's what
to
I
send
did.
you to Michigan State or
Macomb
U of M
College.
or wherever it is you want to go.
There's humor here with that, but that is
It's
the reality.
That's reality.
You know, when it costs you as to over $100,000 to get a 4-year education at a state university, forget going to any of these private colleges that will cost you $30,000, $40,000, $50,000 a year in tuition.
When you get out, because there's no jobs in the field that you pick.
Now, is it easier to get student loans yourself as the student in your last 2 years of college?
So it's easier to get student loans if your parents have declared you independent And you have to generally be an independent for at least 1 year, is my
Which
understanding.
means do not take them as a dependent on the tax return.
Which isn't as big a deal as a lot of people think it is. When I
Right.
show them how much they actually
No,
got,
it's-
it's not
Especially
very
with
much.
the tax changes
Far
now,
better
it's not
to
going to be.
not declare yourself, to not take your kids as a dependent, have your kids get their own student loans in their own name, then they have the debt and they have the non-dischargeable debt problem with respect to private
That
student
still
loans.
doesn't mean that there's enough
Not
money
the
available
solution.
for student loans for undergrad, because there is not. So your other alternatives are, like I said, start thinking about community college. Think
Work.
about and living at home.
Military.
Work.
Enlist.
And you know
let
what else?
The government provide you an
that
education.
goes, that's missed by a lot of people? Grant money. There's a website called grants.gov. And you can apply and I understand the last time I saw this statistic, it was almost 60% of all grant money goes unclaimed on an annual
People
basis.
just don't apply for it.
Because they don't apply for it. That's right. So your kid, unfortunately, we have a
The
society
kid will never
of,
be
of
that motivated.
Right.
Mom and dad have to become the,
Oh,
instead of
my.
being a hockey mom or a hockey dad, you need to be a grant mom or a
But
grant
it requires that the kid write essays and make applications and do all these things. And
Maybe we have to help them
We
with
have
their
a
essays.
society quite often right now that says, just give
Yeah.
to me. I don't want to work for it. Give to me.
Work at George's construction site for
Yeah.
the summer.
I mean, here's
Working-
here's the real issue: is Jane and George, they can't compromise their future retirement.
They already did.
The Jane and Georges out there that are listening
Thinking
that
about
haven't made the move yet, you don't want to compromise your future retirement in the course of financing your kids' education. I completely understand the desire to help your kids get that education they need, and that goal should remain the same, but there has to be a limit placed on it that says I'm not going to do things that are going to put me in a position at 65 where I don't have money to retire with. That's a critical factor. Coming up to a break, when we come back, we're going to wrap this up and kind of come up with some good solutions.
Carrying too much debt? Resolve your debt. Call THAV GROSS.
You don't need to be broke, and you don't need to hit rock bottom. If you have income and you're struggling with debt, dump it. Think about the next 10 or 20 years. If you do what the banks tell you, you'll have nothing to retire with. There is a solution.
Don't waste your future. Call THAV GROSS. We're experts at eliminating credit card debt. 888-235-HELP. That's 888-235-HELP. Tax problems are major problems. Don't let the IRS levy your wages and seize your assets. There is a solution.
We're THAV Gross. Our firm will solve your problem.
If you're behind on your taxes and owe money to the IRS, call THAV GROSS.
We've been solving tax problems for 32 years. We stop wage levies, resolve unfiled returns, and obtain the best possible settlements.
Call THAV GROSS today, 888-235-HELP.
A lifetime of hard work. If you don't have the right plan in place, you can lose your home, your savings, and more. And you didn't come this far to lose everything. Samasco Law wants you to know that laws are changing. Today, the average cost of nursing home care is $85,000 a year. With proper planning, we can help protect your life savings and get you the Medicaid and nursing home benefits you deserve.
How much can you afford to lose? Call Samasco Law today.
Is the debt piling up? Struggling to get by?
It's all about preserving future income. Bankruptcy is one option. When it's right, it's the least costly, most effective way to save your home, eliminate a second mortgage, and wipe out credit card debt. But you need to address the problem now.
We help people with bankruptcy. Call the experts.
We're THAV Gross. Our firm will solve your problem.
888-235-HELP. That's 888-235-HELP.
Time for announcements. Want to remind our viewers to listen to us Tuesdays 10 a.m. and Saturdays 7 a.m. for Law and Reality Live on the Praise Network, 93.5, 98.3, and 99.9 FM. And then on Saturdays, 11 o'clock a.m. for Law and Reality Here and Now on WMUZ AM 1200. Be sure and sign up for our free contest. Every month, free $50 Visa gift card, Law and Reality hat, and copy of Dump Your Debt. Just go to the Law and Reality website, click on the link to sign up, and you're in. We have seminars coming up. On Wednesday, September 26th, 6 to 7:30 p.m., September is the time for my debt to fall. We're going to go through all the methods we use to preserve future income for you and your family. Solutions using bankruptcy, solutions outside of bankruptcy. Jenny Lingl is going to participate and give us a special segment on how to resolve tax issues. Attendees get a free copy of my book, Dump Your Debt. All of our seminars are free. Sign up at thavgross.com, lawandreality.com, or do it the old-fashioned way and call 888-235-HELP. Then on Wednesday, October 17th, 6 to 7:30 p.m., we have a seminar called Estate Planning is Not an Option. We're going to go over all the elements of an estate plan, documents you must have while you're living, documents addressing issues after you pass away, how to address probate issues. Jeff Linden's going to join us along with Brian Small and myself. Attendees receive a $300 gold certificate off of the cost of an estate plan. Sign up at thavgross.com, lawandreality.com, or call 888-235-HELP. You can always come into THAV GROSS for a free consultation. You want to remember to do that. Go to the website, thavgross.com, lawandreality.com. You want to meet with Pat Simasko on elder law issues, Brian Small on estate planning issues, financial crisis issues, Jenny Lingl on tax issues, with me on business issues, Jeff Kirshner on disability and Social Security and workers' compensation claims. Just go to the website, sign up, and we'll call you back and schedule the appointment. Also, be sure and check out the free reports on the website. We have a great report on how to save your home from foreclosure. Pat Simasko has a Retiree's Guide to Social Security. And we also have a report on business formations, loans and grants for small businesses in Michigan. I want to thank our sponsors, THAV GROSS, Simasko Law, and Jeff Kirshner Law. Now back to the show.
Carrying too much debt? Resolve your debt. Call THAV GROSS.
You don't need to be broke, and you don't need to hit rock bottom. If you have income and you're struggling with debt, dump it. Think about the next 10 or 20 years. If you do what the banks tell you, you'll have nothing to retire with. There is a solution.
Don't waste your future. Call THAV GROSS. We're experts at eliminating credit card debt. 888-235-HELP. That's 888-235-HELP.
Nothing provokes panic and fear like the threat of a school shooting. Unfortunately, we've seen a sharp increase in students making copycat threats in order to gain notoriety. I'm Macomb County Prosecutor Eric Smith. Students, this behavior will not be tolerated. Felony charges will be brought against anyone who threatens the safety of our schools. Parents, please talk to your children and pass along this message. If you threaten our schools, it will cost you your future.
Tax problems are major problems. Don't let the IRS levy your wages and seize your assets. There is a solution.
We're THAV GROSS. Our firm will solve your problem.
If you're behind on your taxes and owe money to the IRS, call THAV GROSS.
We've been solving tax problems for 32 years. We stop wage levies, resolve unfiled returns, and obtain the best possible settlements.
Call THAV GROSS today, 888-235-HELP.
All right, so we're back. We've identified the problem. And let me just to crystallize it and then tell me how 13 works and tell me what I should do. But this is the other thing that we see all the time, and it's so easy to understand. Mom and dad look at their finances and they're saying, I can't afford to do this. But Jane and Elroy come and say, well, Billy's going to MSU for 4 years, and Janet's going to MSU for 4 years, and this person's going to U of M. They can afford it. Why can't you, Mom and Dad? Why can't I go to college when all of my friends are going to college, they're staying in the dorms, and none of them have to work? What kind of parents are you to do this to me?
Yep.
Well, I think after they come back after that initial being angry is when you start presenting the plan. Maybe we can't do it now, but how can we get you there in year 2, 3, so that you can eventually get to where you want to be?
I think at a starting point, you have to be, and you've said this to me a million times, you have to be honest with your children as they're growing up.
You can't have that conversation a week before college. You got to do it when they're 10 years old.
You got to share with them as they're growing up financial responsibility.
Absolutely.
I think high school.
Well,
financial realities.
Yeah. There's so many kids these days that again believe in the world of handout instead of going out and getting it for themselves. Whether it's getting scholarships, getting grants, working during the summers.
Why do you think they call them millennials?
Yeah.
Because they all want $1 million.
Going out and working during the summer and saving money to achieve a goal, which includes putting money away for tuition, things like that.
And working while you're in school.
And yes, no parent wants their kid to have to do that. But this is a different day and age. It costs a ton to go to college.
Why not just put all the college tuition on a credit card?
Well, that's an interesting theory. And so,
because credit card debt is dischargeable in bankruptcy.
It is dischargeable.
Or you can settle it using debt resolution. So if I've got $100,000 available on my credit cards because I have a good credit score, and I just load up those credit cards.
Well, there is something called.
And I'm intending on paying it back, but just if it so happens at the end of the college tuition period, I can't pay it back. There are solutions.
There are.
But would it be wrong to do that if I knew the day one that I was charging, I had no intention of paying back?
It's called bad faith.
That's fraud.
It's fraud, yeah.
But if I was in good faith and I was planning on paying it back, and I wanted to pay it back, and I would pay it back as long as I had the money to do so, but circumstances changed down the road where I couldn't pay it back, is that fraud?
No. But it would allow you to do one of two things. As possibly file that Chapter 7 that we discussed.
I think it's also going to cause the credit card industry to start sending me some nasty letters.
You also could, hang on a second, you also could utilize Chapter 13 to restructure the debt. So George and Jane, who I have this problem right now, where they're running out of money and they're $2,000+ upside down in their budget. Remember I said that they had about $300 to pay all their bills with? We can take that $300 over the next 5 years
and spread it out
and pay that towards the creditors that do exist, giving some of the money to the student loans and possibly none of the money to the credit card companies, at least giving George and Jane a chance to restructure their debt and keep it under control.
Yeah. Well, that's what we see all the time is little grandson goes to grandma and says, I'm going to pay it back, and I'm going to pay it back, and I'm going to pay it back.
Liar!
Yeah, and that's what happens. And the kid goes to work at Costco's or somewhere else, and grandma's stuck on the debt.
They have good intentions.
Right, but they don't come out getting the job. You do not, I've said this a million times.
You will not get it.
Job market is better now.
Do not ever co-sign for your children's student loans
Unless
if you believe that they're going to be the ones paying it back. If you intend to pay it back, then it's your loan.
Or if you're prepared to pay it back.
Yeah.
But please don't co-sign loans believing that it's all going to be your kid's responsibility.
And a lot of those job loans are for the hairstylist college and the mechanic.
Yeah, you don't want to do that. So to wrap it up, Chapter 13 is a remedy to get rid of unsecured debt. It will buy you time on student loan debt, but you really need to address the plan going forward with your children so that you don't put yourself in a position where you have financed and lost your retirement for the benefit of their education. That won't work for anyone in the family. You need to do it in a smart fashion. You need to explore grants, be a grant dad, be a grant mom, take advantage of what's out there, work to finding the right solution. Have a great week. We'll be back next week with Law and Reality.